Are we recording?
We are.
Oh, good. Okay. Very good.
We might be in the cold open right now.
Oh, God. This happens to us all the fucking time, and then the cold open seems like weird as shit, and then we go into the... anyway. Let's do it. It's fine.
On screen. Energize. On screen. Make it so. On screen. Come. Stand by for source of separation. What is it you want, Q? What is it you want, Q? Greed, number one. What is it, Doctor?
Welcome to How Much for Just the Podcast. I'm Damo.
And I'm Mick.
And this week we're doing... Or this week. Keep saying this week.
This episode. This occasion.
We're doing the first episode of... Well, not the first episode. Our first episode of Strange New Worlds.
Yes.
Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow.
And tomorrow.
Not to be confused with the very good book. There's a very good book called Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow.
There's also a line in a very good play.
Yes.
Yes.
By some guy from England who died.
Who I might well be related to, the way things are going.
You've been doing your family tree.
I've been doing my family tree.
You could be related to everyone. Isn't everyone technically related to everyone? Because if you go back, because you've got two parents, your parents had two parents, your parents had two parents, so you keep dividing it up that way. If you go back only 5 generations, it's more people than have ever existed in the entire history of the planet,
and they're all named Sung.
They're all named Sung. They're all played by Jeffrey Combs.
But yes, no, there is an acceptable amount of inbreeding.
Yes, there is. Weirdly. Don't bring up this fact in a family reunion because you'll get shunned. But realistically, for two first cousins to breed, it only increases the risk of genetic abnormalities by about 0.1. It's fairly negligible because back in the days, back in humans have... It was unusual for people to go across the river and breed with the other people, so you had to breed with the people who were around you.
Human populations have sprung from very small genetic pools.
Yes.
At times, yes.
Anyway.
Yes, and I've just been looking into under the rocks in mine.
Your rocks all lead to England.
So far, there's one tangent that seems to be going off to Ireland.
Okay.
But mostly working class Londoners.
Yes. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's except for Cole Porter. Well, my great grandfather was Cole Porter.
A porter of coal.
A coal.
Not
the performer. He was a coal porter.
A coal porter.
His job was to carry coal.
He ported coal, and so they called him Cole Porter.
Yes.
It's
that was on his census. That's what he wrote down. It was 6 children, Cole Porter.
He couldn't actually read, so he just did. That must say occupation.
But yes.
Strange New Worlds.
Speaking of family lines.
Noonien Singh. Noonien Singh. Yeah, it's a very good episode for her.
Oh, look, absolutely. No complaints about this episode at all.
I have a few.
Okay, well,
I'll get into that later. It was a very good character episode. Put it that way.
Yes.
I really enjoyed the character interactions and the building of Lila Ann and the fact that she's had this what she calls the Scarlet Letter on her name her entire life and alternate universe Jim Kirk is the only one who treats her as a person and doesn't go. It's if you or I met a Hitler today, it'd be like, you sure want to you can change names.
Yeah, well,
you're allowed to.
So could she have?
She could have. Grandparents
this
could
is the
have.
thing is if there
seems odd that they didn't.
Exactly. I'm not buying the whole the whole thing really. In that, if it really is that much of an albatross around the family neck, why are they still wearing it?
Yeah. Just change it.
Yeah.
It's not like it's difficult to do.
No.
I wouldn't have thought.
No. It's not difficult now.
No.
In the future.
Maybe it's like when they brought the Vulcans on, it's illogical to change your name. We're going to stop that. So they put a Vulcan president in the...
it is illogical to change one's name. It cannot affect the history. It does not change anything. The records still exist.
I don't know. Look, I was... when they were first announcing Strange New Worlds and they had the character names released and it was Noonien Singh, I've just gone, oh, for fuck's sake. Look, I've been proven wrong. Over the Strange New Worlds, even though it is sort of dependent on legacy characters and all of that sort of jazz, it is very much its own thing and it's good. I quite like it. But part of me has that little fanboy of discontent that you see on the internet all the time, just going, "Oh, what are they doing that for? What are you doing that for?" And the fact that like La'an is canonically like can trace her line back to Khan, meaning Khan had children. That's okay. What? It seems a bit unnecessary, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I said the same thing about Burnham being Spock's sister as well. I have that little gnawing bit in the back of my brain that just goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" And like that's my main criticism with this episode is that it's leaning on the whole fucking legacy bullshit. Like it's turning into the Star Wars thing where everything relevant that's ever happened has to relate back to about 3 or 4 people.
Yes,
with the same surname. It's either one of the Sungs or it's one of the crew of the original Enterprise or the 1701 Enterprise. It's got to relate back to them, and it's because writers want to make references. It's like I want to make references.
There are so many references you could make.
Exactly. But like the fact that they keep going back to that well, and it's like it rubs that little nostalgia itch for some people, but it's starting to like annoy me a bit. Like I said the same thing about like Picard season 2, where like his ancestor was one of the first space explorers, and therefore like it's like a dynastic thing. Like it's a the family business. We all like you can never get away from your genetics. You can never get away from your family. If your granddad was an explorer, then you will be. But if your granddad was a toilet farmer, or
I haven't found one of them.
they farm toilets, right? That's how they make them.
I'm now a bit worried about how I might react if I see a bag of coal.
It's just your genetics will take over, and you'll just start hauling it somewhere.
Up on the shoulders. Like, here we go.
Where are you going with that? I
this?
don't know. Just sailing off into the sunset with a bag of coal, just going, "Oh, it's mine now." Like that's shits me about. It's not just Star Trek does it. Like Star Wars is like infamous for it. It's like we've got an origin story for the monster that Luke cut their arm off. Like you don't need to go into that minutia, but like Star Wars has done it for decades. Like with their expanded universe and all that sort of stuff. So like I relate it back to that. But everything's doing it. Like Star Trek's doing it.
Have we got an official lineage from like Yoda to Grogu yet? From Yoda, like, are there some generations in the middle there? It's like, he's like
probably. I don't know if it's.
I don't. I just don't want to imagine Yoda fucking.
Well, now I am. Fuck you. Now it's in my brain.
You remember, like in the prequels, how athletic he was, how he was bouncing around off all the walls,
Yeah, he'd be an athletic fuck, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's just
his lightsaber's got a curve.
You like that, do you? Daddy, you will call me. Okay. Anyway, but like that's my main criticism with this episode.
Judge me by my size.
So there's that.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. The episode's over. We're done. We've talked about Yoda fucking the end. No, that's my main criticism with this episode. Like it could have been like it could have literally been anything. Like I don't mind the addition of the Romulans to the temporal Cold War. Or the temporal wars, because that's the sort of bullshit that fucking Romulans would do.
I think I read that they pulled that from some novels as well. There was some there's some TOS novels or something where the Romulans were doing this kind of shit. So even that could very much be a back reference. It could be a callback.
Like the temporal Cold War or like. The temporal prime directive is not something that the Romulans would adhere to. If it can get them an advantage, they'd go for it. Like that's just that's just their
absolutely
what they would do. So like it makes perfect sense. But like then to shoehorn in Khan and like Noonien Singh Enterprises or Noonien Sung Enterprises or whatever it was, the building that they're breaking into. With the cold, like the cold fusion reactor,
I don't know.
Like old mate from like Picard season 2's gone ahead in leaps and bounds, hasn't he? Like, he was fucking destitute. All his entire life work was ruined when he pulled out the fucking file on Khan. Now he's got a whole fucking building and a cold fusion reactor in Toronto. Yeah. He's gone ahead.
Canadian government gave him tax breaks.
Yeah, clearly. It's you know...
Very good tax benefits in Canada.
Yeah, despite the fact that he's probably a wanted criminal at this point.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, we know what happens to, like, very rich criminals in this day and age.
That's too real. He got a contract with Boeing. Delete that. I don't want to get assassinated. Cut this bit out. Boeing's a very nice organisation.
Our sponsor for today.
But,
yeah, no, look, yes, this is all weird, but it is sensible that if the Romulans were going to send an operative back to do a thing, a pivotal point, a very well-known pivotal point, would be around Khan.
Eugenics wars.
They do know that the eugenics wars were a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And they know if that swung one way or the other, that's going to change things a lot. That would be a very good thing for a time traveler to head towards.
Yeah, and the fact that they're, trying to prevent that war as well as like they can sort of plausible deniability is, we were trying to help. It's like like that's the other thing that I kind of don't like about the episode is that theoretically the entire history of Star Trek is predicated on World War III or the eugenics wars having happened. Whereas I think like the whole traditional view of the Roddenberry's vision that doesn't involve three breasts or whatever, the fact is that we just grow out of that. We just grow out of we don't have to hit that breaking point for us to evolve beyond it. But now it's like, according to canon, is that we do have to hit that breaking point.
I mean, also looking at what's around us. Yeah, kind of, it's going to be pretty hard to buy. Yeah, us suddenly going, actually, maybe
it was pretty hard to buy in the '60s as well. But like, it's look, I liked that kind of optimistic view of it. This is it is a much more cynical view of humanity that we have to hit rock bottom before we can ascend to the stars. Well, I mean, it's not something that I necessarily disagree with.
It's not so much hitting rock bottom as we are always as a species very bad at seeing consequences of our actions. It's like we just don't. It'll probably be fine. She'll be right. I'm sure we'll figure it out. And it's like, no, maybe we do need an incident that just says, no, you don't.
We've had
before we'll listen.
We've had like 30 of those incidents in the last 20 years, and yet nothing's. The oceans are still very hot.
Yeah. But it's happening too slowly for anyone to see. It's just like, if a nuke went off, am I advocating for nuking cities?
Yes, you are.
I am.
You definitely are. Yeah.
Well,
which one should we start with? Which city would you nuke first to have the greatest impact?
Which one's Mark Zuckerberg in right now?
He's in his bunker. He's either in his bunker or he's hunting animals for sport. Like it's because he did anyway. You're not gonna bomb Zuckerberg. It's just like it's.
I wouldn't mind.
I wouldn't mind. It's just like
I'd be prepared to.
He's probably got a bomb-proof shield that he wears on his belt. I don't know.
I'd be prepared to give it a try.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
It's worth a shot.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, just for the sake of science.
Yeah.
We just need a control Mark Zuckerberg.
A controlled Mark Zuckerberg.
That we don't nuke.
Yeah. Sure. Just the. What's his face from past tense? The rich cunt, the good rich cunt that wasn't an arsehole in charge of a meteor empire. But no, look, the strength of this episode is its character moments between La'an and Kirk. Like that's the strength of the episode. Those bits were perfect. Like they were, it's very much sort of established her character.
Yeah. Oh, and that look when he takes his shirt off.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Is that the first time Jim Kirk's taken his shirt off and someone's actually, done a very good job of acting? To be pleased to see it.
usually it's just like falling, green women just flocking to his feet.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. But it's like, yeah, no, I was very, it was very, very, very much. I was just thinking very much about Galaxy Quest. I was like, I see you managed to get your shirt off. Yeah. But definitely a much better looking Jim.
Yes, well,
I like this Jim with his shirt off much better than Shatner with his shirt off.
doesn't have the man boobs, hasn't got the wig, the hairpiece.
Yeah. I'm buying this Jim as wild galactic lover much more.
Yeah.
That's
That's the other thing about it looks. This is any alternate universe version of whatever in any time. Like it's you still have the same people there. As like if Earth's history has changed that radically, is Kirk really going to get born to the same parents?
Yeah, I
have
know.
the same genetic information. Like it's the same as like the mirror universe. Like it's the history of the mirror universe is so radically different, and yet Kirk's there, and so is Spock, and so is so like everyone's still there.
I know it is wild, but infinite possibilities, infinite universe.
It's just like,
but also every time like there's a mirror universe or something like some key person dies. That we know, but
Every time.
but even the later ones that still hasn't changed.
It hasn't altered anything. It's like this. Kira died in Deep Space Nine. Did I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Are they all the same mirror universe? Is it a different mirror universe every time? Who knows?
Like in the mirror universe, Worf is the emperor of the Klingon Empire or the Klingon Cardassian Alliance. And does Alexander exist? Is Alexander there? Does Alexander exist in the Prime universe, to be honest?
Oh, I mean, is Worf's awareness of him a factor?
Mirror universe Worf is exactly the same awareness of Alexander as Prime universe Worf.
Yeah, if an Alexander is born in a timeline and no Worf is around to hear it, it's really, it's just...
Does he get ignored?
Poor Alexander.
Like on balance of probabilities, like for any character to exist as their mirror version of themselves, their parents also had to meet. So therefore, Alexander must exist in the mirror universe. So Worf and Kayla. I forget how you pronounce the name.
It starts with a K.
Yeah, it starts with a K. But so they would have had to have necessarily shacked up as well, despite the fact that
at exactly the same time.
Yeah, this is the thing. This is the problem with every single mirror universe episode.
We know this. We know that this is a problem.
Yeah.
Like we've always known. This has never not been known. Like we just go with it.
And look, like. This is why the bad guy Romulan in this episode, brings up it's like time itself is trying to correct itself, like it's trying to correct its own course. So like, is time itself a character now that is manipulating events to make sure that there's a Kirk, there's a Spock,
You're trying to claim this is a predestination paradox because
kind of.
we hate those.
Yeah, we do. We do hate them, and yet this is what's mentioned in this episode. And the weirdness around around the eugenics wars in the first place. Like magic explains that away as well. It's like, they were supposed to happen in the 1990s, and then I've been here for 30 years trying to prevent this, and it's like. It adds a sort of element of inevitability, like the fucking like Judgment Day from the Terminator movies. It's I don't know if and like the weird coincidence of Kirk being born on the USS Iowa instead of being born in Iowa.
I think I mentioned my theory about that as like, I think they just specifically wanted to avoid saying Kelvin.
Mm-hmm.
I bet there's a draft.
Undoubtedly.
I bet there's a draft where it was the Kelvin. It's like someone just wanted to make absolutely sure to say this is not that timeline.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it would have been fun to do.
Yeah.
But I can see why they might not.
Yeah, look, I get it. I mean, the Kelvin has been canonically referenced in Star Trek as of Discovery, the most recent season of Discovery. So it's not like it's not a thing that existed, but it's also... like you said, like before we started recording, it's they just wanted to make sure that this was a distinct parallel timeline that isn't the parallel timeline.
Because otherwise, everyone, well, actually, I think.
Well, actually, that's
Oh no, I agree, but it was an excuse to get character bits.
Yeah.
And that's what the mirror universe is.
Yeah.
It's all having fun with the characters.
Yeah. And look, that's... mind you, sometimes the mirror universe is just about, seeing the characters that we like to be evil every now and again. Like, that's a whole different bit of fun. Like, I'm not poo-pooing the fun of alternate universe storylines. It's more the, like, poking holes in the... in the flimsy logic of them.
Yeah, so speaking of the character bits, there were like a lot of in the pre-credits teaser bit, there was like those little character bits that looked all like throwaways apart from the Pelia one.
Yes.
Which came back later, but the others weren't.
Yeah. Weren't exactly.
It was all like, hey, look, we're just doing like random little bits of stuff that's going on around the Enterprise and suddenly like,
I do like the little slice of life sort of, stuff that you see, like, someone's made a noise complaint against Spock. Like
because Spock's somehow playing his lute too loud.
Lute too loudly. Like they don't have soundproofing. What the fuck? But I do like that little bit. And yeah, the Pelia being like a fucking pack rat and a bit of a lunatic is like those were great little insights. And then when Pelia came back later, it's like, oh, that's why they did that. So it's like, putting that in, it's a sort of a bit of misdirection, but also I like those little slice of life things.
You see, season 4 finale, we're going to find out something tragic about Spock's loot. I reckon that's going to be, Well, that would have been a distinct reference in Lower Decks if there'd been another season of that.
Did you renew it? It's not too late. It's not too late to just keep making it. Dear Paramount, dear CBS. Keep making Lower Decks, you fucks. Yours sincerely,
not a crackpot.
Not a crackpot. Seriously, there's no reason that they couldn't just keep going with it. There's definitely the appetite for it. They've only just started releasing like the merchandising for it that people have been screaming out for years. Like they did an Eagle Moss Cerritos and they did. There's a whole bunch of stuff that has only just come out before the premiere of, the most recent season, and fucking just keep making it. Just keep making it.
Oh.
Just like sign Jack Wade and Tawny Newsome up to whatever they want to do.
Well, Tawny's still on the payroll.
Tawny's on the payroll. Tawny's writing for the
Academy series.
The Academy series, and that other one that they announced that was at a Federation holiday planet that's going to be like an office comedy.
I'm extraordinarily skeptical.
The only thing that gives me hope about that series is Tawny.
Exactly. Yeah,
like Tawny knows what she's doing.
Yes.
And like if that's what she wants to do, like if they have like come up with that concept and said, Tawny, you're doing this, like then that I'm not on board with. But if they've just gone to Tawny, hey, what's a Star Trek show you want to make, and she's gone, I want to do this, then I'm on board.
Yep.
So I don't have enough information about how that went down.
True.
To actually know whether I'm optimistic or hesitant about it. But the fact that she's involved, I'm on board. Like, I'm like, it's going to be on board anyway. But like, Tawny can do no wrong in my eyes.
No. Very, very good. Very good at everything.
Yeah.
Yes. And as I was saying, watch $1 billion properties.
Yes. $1 billion. Yes. We were talking about this before. I'm definitely going to, because again, like Tawny's brilliant. Like, it's it's marry me, Tawny. Like it's getting to that level of infatuation I've got. It's like, oh, swoon. Oh, please. If you're ever in Melbourne, no, but like it's she knows her stuff. She's very funny and is a massive Star Trek geek as well. So like she's the right person for the job in every single way.
Yes, indeed.
But not in this episode.
She's not.
She's not in this episode. She's in, you know.
Who else was in there? Oh, there was the sparring with Mbenga. That was that was fun.
Yeah, well, I mean that adds another dimension to Mbenga as well.
Well, he's never getting accused of being Dr. Twink, is he?
No, absolutely not. It's and like because does this episode take place after the one where he's a super soldier, where him and
that was episode 1 of season 2, wasn't it? Wasn't that the opener?
I don't remember.
I'll look that up while you dig yourself into a deeper hole.
But no, like it does add an extra dimension that this, you know, like stoic sort of very professional doctor has this side of him that's like about, you know, mortal combat sort of thing, and like that sort of, I don't mind it. It's, you know.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit worried about what's going to happen. He's one of the ones I'm a bit worried about what's going to happen to when they reach when they start creeping up on the TOS timeline.
Yeah, look, surely he's just going to get a job at Starfleet Medical or something. Like he's just going to get sick of it.
Well, that's what happens to all the doctors, isn't it?
Exactly.
You know?
Like that's all of them, except for Beverly, who just like disappeared for 30 years and came back with the sun.
Well, she was hiding.
Well,
She was deliberately avoiding, you know, being sent to Starfleet Medical.
Yeah. Let's talk about alternate universe Jim Kirk, shall we?
With or without his shirt on?
Well, I mean, mostly with, but like, because the Jim Kirk of that timeline is very similar. Like all of the characters in the alternate universe are pretty much similar. Like the relationships are different. Like
he's not an unrecognizable Kirk.
Exactly. Like he's still the same guy. Like he's still the chess nerd. Like he's still the kind of, you know.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Like when he's like, you know, he's talking about the like the United Earthship Enterprise. Was that one of the ways it was referred to in the early TOS? Like before they settled on Starfleet.
I don't think they ever called it Earth Fleet, but
I've just got a feeling the exact wording he used, like the United Earthship Enterprise, may have been one of the original TOS early episodes before they. There
was like several mentions in TOS of the United Starship Enterprise because they called it the USS Enterprise, but they didn't have like stop and think of what USS stands for in the actual, you know, US Navy, which is United States Ship. It's like these aren't United States ships; they're United Star ships. That's what the USS stands for. Yep, that's fine. Everything's fine now. You move along. That's it. It's like I don't know, but I think it is sort of a bit of a subtle nod towards the original.
Yeah, and also like makes it very distinct that something more is going on than just like, you know, Jim's on the bridge.
Yeah, Jim's on the bridge, and coincidentally, Spock's hailing just as La'an comes up to the bridge. It's like, oh, I know that guy. It's almost like going like a throwback to the era where they had to put each actor in each episode, like we talked about it a few episodes ago for the like the Ferengi one, as like everyone's in Quarks at the start of the episode.
To get their screen time.
This is pretty much that, like the bookends of the episode seem a little bit like that. Like Mbenga doesn't have anything to do except do a bit of sparring.
Yeah.
So it's just, here you go. We need to insert you in. Oh, let's have you sparring with La'an, which is like it's a very artificial way of doing it, but like it also does have like a subtle hint at character development.
Yeah, well, you have to lay out where La'an's head is at the start because that's very important as we go on, and she's got to like. And the best way to do that is to have her engage with someone, and you know, I like that as a mechanism to do it.
Yeah, and doing the whole and the fact that she's still sort of a bit torn up about Una being an augment or whatever they're calling it, like has been genetically altered, and the fact that she's gotten, you know, so much guff throughout her life for you know, being related to the original augment, Khan, is like it's very much it works as a self-contained episode, but also it follows on from every like all the other episodes, and that's what Strange New Worlds has been doing excellently.
Yeah,
like that's what its strength is it's definitively episodic. You can just watch one episode and it still makes sense in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
But it still ties into the episode before and the episode after. Like, you know what I mean?
But they haven't done anything as egregious as like Discovery. Like, hey, let's do all the character development for this character in the episode where we kill her.
Yeah. R.I.P. Ariam.
That was just still mad about that. That was just so clumsy.
Look, it was it had a few mishits. The Discovery, let's be honest.
Yeah,
it's like the first.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. The first 2.5 seasons were a bit rough, and like that's the same with every Star Trek show. And well, I've talked about it before. Like the biggest challenge for Discovery is the fact that they were basically 10-part episodes each season, or 13, or however many episodes it was in each season. There was no sort of self-contained episode like this to develop characters. Like there was no sort of, they're going to run off and have a little adventure with these two characters that doesn't really have anything to do with the apocalyptic fucking stakes that happen every single season as well. Like it's...
Well, let's have a musical.
Yeah. Well, let's have you can't have a musical in Discovery. Like you can't put Q in Discovery. It doesn't make sense.
No.
Like it's the same sort of tack.
Yeah, but still, they ended it poorly.
Yeah,
it did not get a fair shake.
No, it's that final bit. Like it's like the last scene in the last Harry Potter movie. It's just like, nobody cares about this. Like, this is like, 30 years later and your sons are like both.
Maybe they'll come back and do it justice in 30 years. They'll do like the Twin Peaks, the return of Discovery.
Maybe. But I mean, a few characters are going to show up in Starfleet Academy. So I mean, like that has the potential to have that sort of carryover.
I think the main thing that bugged me about the end of Discovery was that they didn't actually... I mean, they made it about that missing timepiece. That short that no one was ever sure what it was going... Where there's Discovery's in the middle of nowhere and it's, like the crew's been gone for centuries. Or there was like that big unanswered mystery in the short treks.
Yes.
And they made the finale about that, but they didn't do it.
Yeah.
They just went, oh, this is about that, but they didn't actually do it.
Yeah.
They didn't give us something.
Why is Discovery abandoned off in the middle of space?
Yeah,
it's like, because we left it there. There's no reason. Yeah. It's just, we felt like it.
We because reasons. And that would be fine if they were ever going to come back to it. Yeah. But they're not.
They're not. They can't. No, like it's
that was their chance to do it. If someone had been holding back on that little storyline for the right time to drop, that was the time.
Yes,
that was the time to do it.
The only time to do it, as it turns out.
Yeah, not just like just going, no, we didn't forget. It's still there. But it's over now. So thanks.
It's gone off. We're just gonna park the ship here and leave it there and hope no one finds it. That's a bad plan. That's a bad plan in the 20th century. That's a bad plan in the 24th century. That's a bad plan in the 30th century. Why the fuck are you doing that? Like, if you don't want anyone to get a hold of the Zora intelligence, like that's been uploaded from the thing that the evil AI from like season 2 or 3 was after. If you don't want anyone to get a hold of that, destroy the ship or keep the ship somewhere where it's going to be. Like, you've had this ship in the middle of every crisis for the last, couple of seasons, and nobody thought, what if it falls into the wrong hands? It was only like after Burnham's retired and had a kid that people go, we better hide it somewhere. But you didn't hide it. You just put it in the middle of nowhere.
Could have dropped it in the memory hole with the progenitor tech stuff.
Landed on Earth and put it in a museum. Like they do that with the rest of the ships.
Yeah, no one will ever find it there. No one's going to go to a museum. It's like people will go put up a fight to avoid going to a museum.
Yeah. And like. The fact that they just retired the ship and just put it out in the middle of nowhere, they if they were going to retire the ship, why didn't they do that when it first came to the the 29th century? Because it's very old fashioned at that point. They had to do a massive refit with
but nothing else can do warp jumps now. It's got the mycelium thing, so it's a special
But you've got
ship.
the guy
that
invented that technology on the fucking ship.
We need this one. There's got to be a reason. We don't want to have to change the title on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it came down to, because like the refitting the entire ship to work with the detachable warp nacelles and that I knew that I knew that would evoke that reaction. That's why I said it. But like refitting the entire ship is a lot more difficult than just retiring the ship then and there. But instead, they wait another 30 years to retire it. Why don't refit the ship again? Programmable matter it to refit it with the next 30 years of advanced technology.
Yeah.
Why are you fucking it off and just leaving it in the middle of nowhere? It's dumb.
Yeah.
It's a bad plan.
Oh, maybe there was a reason, but they could have told us what that was instead of just going, no, there's one.
Yeah, we're just doing it.
There's a reason. Yeah. Don't you worry your pretty little head about it. But yeah, meanwhile in the 21st century,
In Toronto,
which they went to,
a bridge has been blown. Did you know? Apparently, the bridge that got blown up, like by the photonic bomb, it basically matches the design of a bridge that is currently being built in Toronto.
I heard something about this. Yes.
Yeah. So it's like,
I'm never going to drive across it.
don't recommend it. Just is like, is it any Romulans? Don't know, because we don't know what year specifically this happens in.
No.
We know roughly how old Khan is, but do we though? Because other Sung daughter was only 1 or 2 years old when Q had to cure her in season 2. Oh,
Yeah,
God, I hate that storyline too, by the way.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that was deliberate. It's like, we don't know exactly when it is. It's somewhere in the next decade.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah. It's recognizable to us now.
Yeah. It's modern enough that we can recognize the technology in it. But like nobody uses a mobile phone, so it's like nobody. You've got like Kirk breaking into the car and going on a joyride. Like that's kind of a modern car, but also people have old cars, old souped up things all the time. So that could be the same car.
It's an old car, but it's got a mycelial drive. Instead of refitting it, they just
on mushroom. But yeah,
that was if I'm it was somewhere in Memory Alpha. I think was like the car chase scenes were all in in one of the augmented reality tanks. It was
really?
The car chase interiors were all a stationary car.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
But they still got motion sick.
I mean, you do.
Yeah, no, but like that was like
I've played VR, and it's like depending on how they've fucking worked it.
They were in one of those AR shells with all the scenery moving around them, and they still got motion sick.
The one they invented for Mandalorian, back to
that kind of thing. That was the kind of thing they did. It was a stationary car.
Fascinating.
But there's some scenes where they're pointedly looking a bit queasy.
Yeah,
and I'm sure they deliberately, having read that, I'm sure they deliberately edited those in.
It's looking a bit fucking worse for wear. It's like, okay, let's slot that in. Yeah,
that's a good look. Yeah.
That's
selling it.
Definitely, absolutely.
But I thought that was fun. But yes,
no, but you would get motion sick in those things, because I've got a HTC Vive, and like most games are fairly like. They
Not
know
to
that
brag.
It cost me a fucking lot of money. It was one of those things like when I was walking out of the store with it, like I bought it from Officeworks, and I'm walking out of the store with the box just going, I'm an idiot. What have I fucking done? This is too much money. What have I fucking done? I'm a moron. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Anyway, but don't regret buying it. But like if you play the likes of like Fallout VR like that, it's still like you don't get motion sick playing that. One that I did, it was like called Phasmophobia. It's like a ghost hunting one.
Okay.
But because the motion, like when you're moving, it's smoother. Like as you walk, it's smooth. So your brain thinks you're walking, and you just go, oh no.
Oh,
So, it doesn't surprise me that this, you would get motion sickness in one of those machines.
no, fair. What else happened? It was like, they did the usual, like, gambling with the locals.
Which
to
they,
make money.
they conveniently did after robbing a store, after stealing clothes from a clothes store.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, no one's going to agree to play chess with someone who looks like they're from sci-fi.
That's the thing about, like, one thing that I noticed on second watch is, like, alternate universe Kirk's uniform, because the badge is different. Like their badge, it's still the triangle thing, but it looks like it looks like something you'd see in like an SNL sketch, because they're not allowed to use the actual Star Trek Delta. It looks like one of those, but on the sleeves they've still got the star that goes in the middle of the captain, because they do that with their uniforms in like modern Star Trek. They put the deltas everywhere on in the disco uniforms.
Yeah, with the star and the swirly and the...
Yeah. So Kirk's uniform has like the stars all over his sleeve, but nowhere else on his uniform, which is like, obviously they've just reused the costume that they had for what's his face.
They just assumed no one would be an obsessive nerd watching their show.
Well, I stand corrected. Who'd be an obsessive nerd about Star Trek? Not me.
Hot dogs, hotels.
It would be interesting to go back to that alternate universe, like to see that, like, see how the rest of it's played out, because clearly technology is still advanced to have the Enterprise be recognizably the Enterprise. It's still like a Constitution class ship, but without Vulcan involvement.
Yeah, I know that this is something I can't figure out where it diverged there, because if they're not prepared to even talk to the Vulcans, and yet they have the same ship.
Yeah, they've got the same ship, because like
it's implying it diverged at two different points.
Yeah, it's like it's I think that's why you don't spend much time in the alternate reality, is because like they didn't want people to think too hard about it. But guess what? We're Star Trek nerds and we think too hard about fucking everything. So here we are, but it's like the technology the same, despite the lack of Vulcan involvement. There's no federation between the Vulcans and Earth. Everyone's at war with the Romulans. The alternate Kirk recognizes a Romulan bird of prey when La'an doesn't, because nobody's seen the Romulans at this point, so that still sort of connects. The Romulans are disguised as a human, so he doesn't, La'an doesn't recognize that they're related to the Vulcans.
Yeah, sure. Well, so that was another thing. They don't undermine that. She's not like the one person who suddenly knows. Yeah, stuff.
I mean, look, this is the thing. Pike does technically, sort of, like after that timey-wimey episode where he met his alternate future self or whatever. But what did I start saying?
Something about
Vulcan. Yeah, no, it's like that alternate universe, like the way that sort of panned out. I kind of want to explore like what's going on there, but also like it's.
I think if we do, it suddenly becomes a huge mess, and we can't. It's
the house of cards that as soon as you start wanting to see what's on the other side of the cards, it'll all collapse. So like you can't sort of delve too far into it. Which, in all honesty, is what the mirror universe is.
Yes,
and yet we've done a hell of a lot of exploration of the mirror universe over the franchise history, Deep Space Nine, and then.
But they'll never go back to that one. Because there's no Kirk in it now.
No, not to that one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like
the one from this episode.
Yeah.
I thought you meant that they'll never go back to the mirror universe.
No. I mean, the one in this.
The Borg will never be bad guys in Star Trek again. Yeah, they will. Yeah. They'll be back. Like some writer will come. Like the Borg had like been decimated like 3 times now, and they keep coming back. It's like they're cockroaches. It's some writer will come up with a story that they want to tell about the Borg, and they'll be back. Wait and see. You remember? it's a song from Hamilton. Anyway,
I was just thinking like maybe they could do it like with one lone Borg like like Doctor Who did with Dalek, which was a really good Dalek episode.
It was
until they just fucked that up by doing
until
more.
They basically retconned it.
But even Star Trek's already done the one Borg thing. They've already done that, so it's like the well has been well tapped.
Do you know, like, I say this as a writer who has an idea for a Borg story, but like it's one. This is years before like fucking Space Traders. This is fan fiction of mine that I started writing. It was called Star Trek Eternity. I called it Star Trek Eternity. Where, like, it was about the first time ship. It was based like it was set after Voyager, and so like I had like a series of ideas about the time ship Eternity that went back and forth, and it was a Borg origin story, but you're not supposed to know that at the start. And anyway, I won't say anything more. Give me a job, Paramount. Give me a fucking job. I need a job. I do need a job, actually. I do actually need a job right now. If anyone can give me a job, I'll take it.
If you're listening to this podcast, it's just like
I don't know. This podcast is probably going to come out in a month's time, so hopefully I've got a job by then.
Hopefully this one's less work to edit, because the ones that are just the two of us are always a lot easier to throw
I would
together.
imagine.
Yes, and although we have done some digression,
we have, yes. I mean we've already digressed in the timeline because we still haven't released the. Oh, well, at the time of recording, we haven't released the comedy festival show that we did, like for Picard season 2, because that's
we still don't know what to turn that into.
Yeah, it'll be on YouTube at some point, but like we've already gone against our own rules of doing it all in chronological order.
No, we did do it in chronological order.
But like we recorded it in chronological order, but we didn't release it. And look, I mean, we've recorded out.
Yeah, but some people saw it. Maybe someone had a recorder in the audience and they've leaked it online. Maybe.
I have nothing to say.
I don't know. No, but it did happen. There were witnesses. It's not just us.
My point is, dear CBS, give me a job. I'll be your friend. We're full of nebulous ideas with no actual plan, aren't we?
I think the main thing is we just keep getting sidetracked by the need to not starve to death under capitalism.
That's the difficulty,
and that keeps changing the priorities.
Yeah. Can't we just destroy capitalism? Please.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at some point after World War III, I believe.
Is what
they do maintain this socialist utopia thing. Apparently, the
Pelly is still worried.
She's still hedging her bets.
She's still worried it's a fad. I suppose when you've existed since Pythagoras, everything seems like a fad.
Yeah,
it's like this Roman Empire thing that lasts.
This socialist utopia is it's been barely 200 years. Let's see how we go.
Let's wait it out. Let's see what's going to happen.
I do want to. I don't even know if I want to see the interaction. I just want to see Pelia walking out of Guinan's bar.
Yeah.
I don't want more than that. I just want.
I want Pelia to just walk in and out of a scene of Starfleet Academy. Because she's still going to be alive then.
Yeah.
Unless she dies in Strange New Worlds, don't kill her. You've killed every other engineer so far. And we've got Scotty now, so her time's limited. Yeah, but don't kill her off for fuck's sake.
Scotty never got killed off. Really, that was he.
But
I'm just saying, the Enterprise's engineer is not the same definitively as Spinal Tap's drummer.
He's not the Spinal Tap drummer. But it's just the fact that they've killed off they killed off the blind Andorian whose name I forget. Hammer?
I don't know. The Andorians do not get a break.
No, they really don't. No, it's
founding Federation members and all, they should be like, getting a lot more time
Attention,
and credit
yeah.
than they do.
Well, this is the other thing about like Enterprise is because like they were going to bring on Jeffrey Combs as Shran as like a regular character. Or that was one of the plans for season 5 that never happened. So like it's they don't get a break. You're right.
No, they don't.
It's bullshit.
No. Oh, what else did we see? Oh, I've been chattering away for an hour. It feels like longer.
It does.
I think mainly because we've talked about the episode a lot.
We have. Yeah, this is the thing. Like we've covered everything in the episode. We haven't gone off on a tangent.
Well, I think
What's
it's like
happened?
we went through so many tangents on last episode.
Oh god, we went. It's like. This is the thing. Adam Richard is our people, so like we'll just talk about fucking anything, like whether it be science fiction or whether it be literally any science fiction, because like he's as big a nerd as we are, or like he's worked on Hard Quiz and we've done our quiz, so like we've got that, and we're both involved in the comedy world, so we've got that. Like
the tangents
just our people.
The tangents were everywhere. Yes.
Yeah. So it's just like it's unsurprising that conversation went for ridiculously long. Like you'll notice, viewers at home, listeners at home, that the episode is the first one that's longer than an hour.
Usually, we've crept a couple of minutes over an hour here and there, but yes,
but
that was like 90 minutes,
and that's
after some harsh cuts.
That's some harsh cuts. Yeah,
there's a good 15 to 20 minutes of bonus material that you'll find on our Patreon.
If you hadn't done that, I was gonna. Yeah.
Patreon.com/DMCU.
DMCU. Subscribe, please. Please subscribe. Give us your money. No, sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we can quit our jobs, we will just not stop doing this.
I can't quit my job. I don't have one.
Oh, well, there you go.
This is my job currently, which is not paying the bills. No, I went out on Friday. I went to Panda Hot Pot and spent far too much money. We went out drinking afterwards and I spent too much money.
One thing led to another, yes.
Yeah, it does, as it does.
Well, I'm about to just literally set money on fire to propel my vehicle.
Wouldn't that be fun if you could just set things on fire for a vehicle? Just, load it up with leaves and, crank it up. Hey, you could port some coal. Run it on coal.
No, that'd be more of a train kind of deal.
Well, steam. Yeah. They had steam.
Actually, I do know some people who work. I do know some people who work in like Heritage Railways. G'day, Will. Who probably let me port some coal. Yeah. If I wanted to get back in touch with my roots. Port
some coal. Like just take out your diesel engine, put a steam engine in there.
Yeah.
And away. Away you go.
Yeah.
Very slowly, but like you'll go.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know. I'm not a mechanic. That's how it works. You just take one out and put the other in. There's no other conversion process.
No, not at all. No, not at all.
It's just like instead of going vroom vroom, it'll just go.
I think you'd need a little different spout on the filler cap because I don't know how you get coal down the little.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah. Just roll it down.
Yeah, or you'd need very small coal.
Yeah.
And
crush it up
and just like push it in the little filler cap thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you couldn't do the whole shovel thing that they do for the steam engines.
No. There's not enough room in the car for a start.
You could wear the fun hat though.
Oh yeah,
the steam engine hat.
Yeah. No, that's what it's all about.
It's all about the hat.
It's funny you say that about just swapping engines out. I always like. They do that in Star Trek. There's always the power and they're bypassing relays and stacking a thing as
rerouting something through the deflector dish.
In my youth, I thought electricity was much like that because I remember I had these walkie-talkies that had a 9-volt battery, and I thought I'd be able to talk to people further away if I plugged it into the wall socket.
Oh no.
I don't know how I'm still here.
No,
but I do know why the walkie-talkie doesn't work anymore.
Don't try that at home, kids.
No.
You might die or end up like Mick.
Yeah. That's that. There's something wrong with my brain now. But no, I just thought more power was more better.
Yeah, more power, more better. There's That was the whole thesis behind Home Improvement starring Tim Allen. More power. Because he said that all the time. It's
Also famously took his shirt off in Galaxy Quest.
He did, yes. We've come full circle.
Yeah,
again.
no,
See, we just effortlessly do like callbacks to bullshit that we've already talked about.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because all of our conversations are circular. Yes, that was an attempt at segueing back to Star Trek, but I should have left that at the end. Anyway, doesn't matter. So
I was just having a look to see if there's anything else we need to wrap up on the actual episode.
no, I think I've done my criticism of the storyline. Like the general plot, it was a character episode. It was a La'an character episode. Nobody else is allowed to know about it.
Yeah, and I did follow up watching this episode by going straight and watching Those Old Scientists again, which is kind of the emotional follow up for La'an.
It is, yeah.
And a bit of closure there, and there's an episode that shouldn't work.
No, absolutely.
That should not have worked.
Mm-hmm.
That episode, that episode, as soon as someone pitched it, they should have thrown the person out of the room for such a stupid idea.
They probably did. Then, then they made it anyway.
I know, and yet it was wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Like
they need to take big swings.
They did take, and this is like La'an, like. Probably because of this episode is now like one of my favorite characters because like that final scene, like when she's alone in the quarters and just like breaks down crying. It's just like that's heartbreaking. Like that's just magnificent. Like it's so tragic, and you just want to give her a big hug. Yeah. And anyway, that's just And
I did love that when she calls Kirk and he's like, "Yo, oh God, what's Sam done?" Yeah.
no, he's fine. He's fine. He's not fine. He definitely dies.
Not for a bit though.
Not for a bit. No. Like they just find his body in TOS. And it's just like Shatner in a mustache. It's just how that worked. Anyway, like let's. I've given my thoughts on the episode. I think we've actually discussed the episode for once. It'll give you something to do when you're editing.
Because
I
need more to do.
What you need is more tasks. That's what you need. Is more projects.
I do.
Speaking of projects, follow us on all of the social things, the website. Follow us on Patreon. Follow us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button.
You can find my own little side projects like on my YouTube channel, Mix Little Bits.
Mix Little Bits, where you're pulling apart whatever you find on the side of the road.
I fixed a tape deck I found by the side of the road.
Yeah.
I'm repairing some computers now, and I'm doing some other random shit.
Mm-hmm. And you're the foremost expert in probably the world in like one specific computer company that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, there's one obscure 80s Australian computer company that I think know more about than anyone else.
Anyone else living.
No, I mean the guy who founded it is still alive.
Well, yeah.
And I think I know more than him at this point.
So yeah, Mix Little Bits. Keep an eye out for my bullshit cooking thing. That's going to be funny.
Oh yes,
I bought it. So I don't know if I established. I've told you about it. I bought off Facebook Marketplace the official the official Star Trek cooking manual, which with some very 1970s recipes in it. So that's going to be a stupid thing that I do.
Lots of lard and gelatin everywhere.
Lard, gelatin. There's at least 2 recipes that I know of that involve aspic, like just things suspended in aspic. I've bought the gelatin for it, the sachets. So it's going to be monstrous. It's going to be weird. I'm going to hate it. It's going to be fun. Come back next episode where we're doing another Voyager episode, One Small Step. And we may have we may have a guest on, and that'll be fun, and we'll see you then. Unless Lower Decks does a time traveling episode, which renew the show, you bastards! Renew the show for season 5. I fucked it up.
6 seasons in a movie.
6 seasons in a movie. Fucking 6 more seasons. Keep going forever. Keep Lower Decks going for as long as Star Trek is going.
Yes.
Like just Tawny and Jack can keep going with forever.
Just give them a show. Just like
give them a show.
Put them in a shuttle and just
like look, Jack Quaid's getting enough work. but like because he's also Superman. He's also like he's got the boys for at least another season.
Oh, that's a, I think they're filming the last one of that. But yeah, anyway, but we could,
I'm sure he'll be fine.
But yeah, renew Lower Decks.
Renew Lower Decks, computer and program.
Where the hell are we?
How Much for Just the Podcast is a Grouse Media production. The theme music you heard was the Picard rap by Nikolai Kingsley.
Where the hell are we?
For all links to our stuff, we have lots of stuff, go to prettygrouse.com.
There are 4 lights. Irrelevant. Irrelevant. Shut up.
But like, I remember once I got in trouble because like I finally got a TV in my room when I was, I don't know, let's say 13 or whatever. And so I had it on because I was waiting for Star Trek to start, and Mum must have seen the light in my room and came in and thought I was watching sex TV or like some sex show that was on a different network that showed boobs at 9:30 at night. And it's like, no, I'm waiting for Star Trek to come on. I don't care about boobs.